It's 1980 and Whitesnake are hungry. Not the polished hair metal Whitesnake that will conquer America later in the decade. No, this is a leaner, bluesier beast. A band still deeply rooted in the smoky DNA of late night British rock and roll. Led by a man with one of the most powerful voices in rock, David Coverdale. And they're about to record an album that would become one of the finest moments of their entire career. This is the story of Come and Get It. To understand what made this album special, you have to understand where Whitesnake were in 1980. They had already released 3 studio albums, Trouble, Love Hunter, and Ready and Willing. And they had built a fiercely loyal following in the UK, but they hadn't yet broken through in the way Coverdale knew they could. The band had teeth, they had firepower. What they needed was the right moment, the right room, and the right person behind the desk. And they found all 3. Between July and September 1980, with a final session in January 1981, Whitesnake retreated to one of the most storied recording locations in British rock history, Tittenhurst Park in Ascot, Berkshire. If the name rings a bell, it should. This was John Lennon's old estate, home to Startling Studios, the private facility Lennon had built on the grounds. The Beatles' connection hung in the air like history, and Whitesnake were about to make some of their own. Producing the record was Martin Birch, a man who needs very little introduction to fans of British hard rock. Birch had worked with Deep Purple, Rainbow, and would soon go on to produce Iron Maiden's classic run of albums throughout the 80s. He was precise, powerful, and he understood instinctively how to capture a rock band at full tilt without sanding away the rough edges that made them exciting. His production on Come and Get It is crisp, layered, and full of muscle, exactly what the songs demanded. The lineup on the record is, frankly, stacked. Coverdale, of course, handles lead vocals, and if you've never heard him in his early prime, this album is a masterclass. But surrounding him is a group of serious musicians who brought something essential to the table. Bernie Marsden and Micky Moody shared guitar duties. Twin guitar attack that leaned bluesy and melodic, rather than shredding and flashy. Martin in particular plays an acoustic guitar on the closing track, Till the Day I Die, showing the band's range and emotional depth. On bass, Neil Murray laid down a rock-solid foundation, while the legendary Paice, a veteran of Deep Purple, held down the drums with the kind of authority that only comes from years at the highest level. And then it was John Lord, also ex-Deep Purple, bringing his unmistakable keyboard work to give the record a rich, textured warmth. This was not a band of hired guns. This was a genuine unit, and you can hear it in every track. The album opens with the title track, Come and Get It. And it announces itself with total confidence. This is a band that knows exactly who they are and what they do best. From there, the record unfolds. Wonderful balance of hard-driving rock and soulful blues balladry. Hot Stuff, co-written by Coverdale and Moody, keeps the energy high.
Are you ready for me? I got a burning heart.
Lonely Days, Lonely Nights slows things down and lets Coverdale's vocal range breathe. Wine, Women, and Song, remarkably credited to all 6 band members, is exactly the kind of rollicking good time rock and roll that made Whitesnake so irresistible to live audiences. But if you ask most people which track defined Come and Get It commercially, the answer is probably Don't Break My Heart Again. Released as the lead single in March 1981, just weeks before the album dropped, it climbed to number 17 on the UK singles chart. It's a soulful, aching, mid-tempo rock track with a melody that lodges itself in your brain and refuses to leave. Coverdale delivers it with conviction and remains one of the most beloved songs in the band's entire catalogue. The second single, Would I Lie to You, came out in May 1981 and reached number 37 in the UK. Co-written by Coverdale, Moody, and Marsden, it had a looser, more playful energy. A reminder that Whitesnake could do swagger just as well as they could do heartache. On side 2, Child of Babylon, stretches out and gets atmospheric, clocking in at nearly 5 minutes and showing the band's confidence in letting the song develop slowly. Hit and Run brings the pace back with a driving riff and a live show urgency. And then there's Till the Day I Die, close the record with a tenderness that catches you slightly off guard.
Ice cold winds of winter chilled me to the bone.
Martin's acoustic guitar beneath Coverdale's voice, a quiet ending to a record that had otherwise been turned up fairly loud. But here's the part you've all been waiting for. You cannot tell a story of Come and Get It without talking about the artwork, because the artwork has a story of its own. Artist Malcolm Horton was commissioned to paint the cover, and what he produced was striking. A white snake coiled inside a cracked glass apple on the front, and on the reverse the apple smashed open and the snake freed. It was rich with symbolism, temptation, liberation, and classic imagery of the fall. Visually, it was unlike anything else on the shelves at the time, but Horton also added something a little more provocative. The snake's tongue was painted in a way that was, let's just say, deliberately suggestive, designed to look unmistakably like a you-know-what, and the band loved it. The label, depending on which territory you were in, was slightly more cautious. In the United States, early pressings had the tongue quietly airbrushed into something more conventional. In the UK and Europe, it stayed. When the 2000 remaster came out, the tongue was again redrawn as a standard snake's tongue, though Horton himself has spoken publicly about his original intent and makes no apologies for it whatsoever. It's one of those pieces of rock art history that rewards a closer look once you know what you're looking for. Come Again It was released on the 6th of April 1981 and it hit like a freight train. In the UK, it debuted at number 2 on the album's chart. The only thing that kept it off the top spot was Adam and the Ants' King of the Wild Frontier, which, to be fair, was having something of a cultural moment. Still, number 2 for a hard rock band in 1981 was a genuine statement of arrival. The album was certified platinum in the UK, representing 300,000 copies sold, and gold in Japan. In Germany, it reached number 20, Finland number 3, Sweden number 24. In the US, it remained more resistant. The Billboard 200 peak of 151 reflected the fact that American rock radio wasn't quite ready for Whitesnake yet. That will come later. For now, this was a European triumph, and the band knew it. Critical reception was warm. Jeff Barton, writing in Kerrang, acknowledged the album continuing the band's upward trajectory. In later years, retrospective critics have been even kinder. AllMusic's Eduardo Rivadavia awarded it 4 to 5 stars, highlighting it as a key moment in Coverdale's pre-arena rock period. The band didn't waste a moment. A UK tour launched on the 14th of April, just 8 days after the album's release. They co-headlined shows with Billy Squier, then spent the summer opening for Judas Priest on the Worldwide Blitz Tour, a bill that also included Iron Maiden and Foghat. The crown jewel of the touring cycle came on the 22nd of August, 1981, when Whitesnake made their first ever appearance at the Monsters of Rock Festival at Castle Donington. For a British rock band of that era, Donington wasn't just a gig, it was a coronation. The tour finally wrapped in December 1981 in Freiburg, Germany, after months of relentless road work that turned the successful studio record into a genuine live phenomenon. Come Again It has been reissued multiple times. A 1988 EMI CD and 1987 Geffen pressing for the US market, and most significantly, 2007 EMI Rhino Remaster, which added 6 bonus tracks, including alternate mixes of Child of Babylon, Girl, Lonely Days, Lonely Nights, and a title track, as well as a backing track version of Hit and Run. Those bonus tracks offer a fascinating window into how the album was constructed. Rougher, more exposed, the architecture of the songs laid bare. But what the reissues really confirmed is something fans already knew. The album holds up. It holds up because the songs are genuinely great, the performances are committed, and the production serves both without ever overwhelming either. In the story of Whitesnake, Come and Get It, it often gets overshadowed by the massive commercial explosion that came later in the decade, but for many, and honestly for a strong argument to be made, this is the real Whitesnake. Blues-soaked, hard-rocking, honest, and absolutely alive. Come and Get It indeed. It has been a while since I reviewed an album by Whitesnake. I need to do more of these, as I used to listen to them a lot when I was younger. Let me direct you to the only other Whitesnake album review that I did, which was a 1987 self-titled album that should be appearing on your screen right now. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Please like this video. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe if you have not already. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.